Working through this pandemic has been tough for just about all of us. And for many, it meant actually longer hours and an extra workload. But when it comes to punching the clock, do you ever fear that your boss will think that you're a slacker if you arrive at work after them, or maybe you leave before they do? Many of us feel that we have to prove our dedication to work by being in the office all the time, but that no longer may be the case. Joining me right now to talk more about this is psychologist and executive coach Lisa Orbe-Austin. How are you doing, Lisa?
Hi, Natalie. I'm good.
Okay, so we're being told that our value has nothing to do with our work hours, but that doesn't always make sense for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, especially when you have bosses that value FaceTime, it can feel like it's really hard to do that. But there are often bosses that don't necessarily see FaceTime as a central way that you're valuable, but it can be more about sort of how you show value quantitatively, how you contribute to the team, how relationships within the organization view you, and how they perceive your value and value add.
Yeah, and why is getting there before and leaving after your boss maybe actually not a good idea?
Well, you definitely set a precedent, and then it becomes really hard to change that precedent. And I think in addition to that, sometimes bosses don't see long hours as a show of success and value. They see it as an inability to actually perform your duties within the given time. And so I think it is really important to really understand how people are really assessing the time that you're putting in, the face time that you're putting in.
Yeah, getting it done within the hours allotted. So some of the long-term consequences of putting in too many hours can be what? I know the obvious, you lose time with your family and friends and all of that. But are there any more consequences that happen to us personally?
Yeah, I mean, there is really the experience of chronic burnout. I think also, too, a really important one for your career is that you can be so head down in your job and in the weeds that you lose the long-term perspective on what you really want to be doing with your career. And so much gets focused on sort of just doing the tactical instead of the strategic.
And one more thing that we need to touch on here is a lot of more people are working from home because of this pandemic. So how can they separate themselves from their actual work hours, even though their computer is sitting there all throughout the day?
Yeah, so I really talk a lot about making sure that you have a workspace that you're working from and you're not working all over your house, so that you have designated times when you're working and then not working. Also to be making sure that you have structure around your day, so you're taking a lunch and you're doing other things in your life. And then you have a stopping time, a time where you're done, you turn everything off, you're kind of incommunicado at that point, and nobody can reach you. So really finding ways to set boundaries within kind of what feels like sometimes a boundaryless place.
Yes, we love the word boundaries and the concept of it here on Current.
Yes.
Dr. Lisa Orbe-Austin, thanks again. We'll see you again next week.
You're so welcome.
All right.